What the
Yeah,
hell
man,
happened?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that was so weird. That was so fucking weird. Like you were on the show last week and you everything was fine. I have no idea what happened. So
Everything was okay. Like I said, I just did a show yesterday. I didn't touch any audio settings. Like it's the same deal every week. I have no idea.
I mean,
Let me
I don't
find
know.
out. Mishy's got some special shit going on, man.
I don't fucking
You
know.
gotta pay. You gotta pay a fee. You gotta pay a
Yeah,
goddamn fee just to use the wrestling soup chat. I got it.
I don't know. Like basically, what I did is I just switched back to like regular headphones instead of my earbuds, and then I just brought up Spreaker Studio because I was just trying to do something like maybe newer and easier, and just like switch to my actual earbuds, so I don't have to worry about wires, and then just do Craig, so it's easier. But
Yeah.
I guess they decided, nah, you're gonna make the shit complicated. I'm like, all right. All right, whatever. But anyways, how you been? What's up?
Ugh. Just fucking up and down week, man. Work has been fucking killer with that whole remodel shit and cleaning up after other grown people is really, especially grown people that don't speak English.
Right.
Oh, that's the worst. That's been the worst. On the bright side, though, one of my best friends had a baby, so that's a good thing. Logan
Yeah.
had her little girl the other day, so
Yeah. Well,
that's
congrats,
one
sir.
bright spot. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely congratulations to her.
It's always a good
But
thing.
yeah, other than that, yeah, no, it's just usual stuff. Checking out Deadpool, Wolverine last week, getting ready for SummerSlam this weekend. So yeah, man, just yeah, that's been pretty much it.
Yeah. That's pretty much been my week. The movie and everything else. Yeah. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Go ahead and eat. I just had to take care of something. But yeah, just the movie Deadpool, Wolverine, and just getting back to work after being off for 9 days, which was felt like heaven. But
Mm-hmm.
now I got to get back into the swing of things and make money. I got to save up for the next vacation because I pretty much use all my vacation hours and holiday hours and shit. And yeah, just dealing with a lot of other shit, outside of that. But other than that, yeah, kind of like you, it's been an up and down week as far as work goes. Yeah. What else? What else can I say? I can't really add too much on that. Just can't complain. Trying to work this new streaming thing on YouTube with Justin. Gonna need to work out some more kinks because we did a show yesterday, and on the OBS thing I'm using, he suggested, hey, how's about doing just like a private stream just to kind of test it out,
Yeah.
and I did. The only problems was like I couldn't use my camera because it started to lag. Also, this is an old laptop. Like I need to get like an actual like new computer to make this work better. And when I looked at the stream, like Justin's voice sounded fine. Can you stop? Justin's voice sounded fine. I had an echo, so I don't fucking know how that happened. So, and we're streaming like officially this Sunday for SummerSlam. No, you better not. Sorry, it's my cat. So it's just we're gonna have to work that out. And yeah, just lately, the YouTube thing, what I've been doing is I'll have like two separate portions for the show, where I'll have the regular audio file that goes like Spreaker and iTunes and whatever, and then I'll just create a separate audio file that goes specifically to YouTube, where I won't upload any intros because the music that's made for the shows are music that I get from artists that make it specifically for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I'll like dabble in like AI music. Not all the time, but every now and then. And for some reason, when I uploaded it with the music, I'll get a copyright strike. Even though the music was made specifically for me, it's custom made music.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it would be the. Usually in that case, it's not the artist, it's the company. It's the production company that's saying, hey, this is copyright. It's like, but this was made for me. I don't know how that would be a studio thing, but I don't fucking know. But for the time being, I just decided to just do the audio and not any music. And I mean, so far, I think it's been going pretty well. You know, especially like with getting views. I know the last episode we did where you were on, it's gotten close to 100 views on YouTube, and that, I mean, that's not like compared to like other people we know. That's kind of like small potatoes, but it's just like for me,
that's a whole lot more easier and more better and more convenient for, as opposed to podcast listens.
Right. So I mean, it's pretty good for me. Like that's why I like having Justin. That's why I love having Justin around, because it's just like he pushes me to be the better version of myself. You know, a lot. You know,
I even suggested that to Monty a while back. Like, let's make a YouTube channel. Let's cut some clips from the show. Let's put them on the show. I mean, on the tube, man. Trust me, I know you. Man, when I was doing my NXT reviews on YouTube like 13 years ago, I was getting fucking 1K, 2K views on those videos, man. So
damn.
I know. Yeah, no, I was killing it on YouTube until
impressive.
Until I started working at the cleaners. I kid you not. Hold on, I'm look at these numbers real quick. It's been a long time, but yeah, man, I slacked off. I slacked off hard. Yeah, 2.3K views. You know, on certain reviews and stuff like that. Bigger ones than some, that's for sure.
Yeah, Justin did the same thing. Like, he did the YouTube thing a long time ago, and I remember his channel, and he would review matches, he would review pay-per-views and whatnot, and he was getting like, you know, 2K, 5K views, and, you know, I think he had close to 1 million followers or subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, and he was actually getting paid from YouTube. And, you know, like the channel's still up and it still has views and like subscribers, but yeah, it's just I mean, I look at this as a hobby, and I look at this as having fun, because, you know, I have my government job that, you know, pays for all this. So it's not really like me half-assing it. It's more just me being like, I don't expect to make, you know, the big bucks that a lot of, you know, YouTubers make. But
because your focus and your attention is not fully devoted to it.
Yes and no. Like, I still want to go out there and put out a good show. I still want to have people, you know, like the show and comment on it. But at the same time, I know this isn't like my full-time job. Like, if I started making like good money from this thing, I'd probably just make this my full-time job. You know,
of course.
You know, JD is probably the only wrestling podcaster come to mind that this is his actual job. Like, he's making money from this shit. Other people,
him and Solo
Monster, like other people, you know, that we know, like, this isn't their actual job. Like, they actually have jobs where they make money to support this shit. It's just they so happen to be one of the most popular wrestling podcasters in the world. So yeah, like I look at this as like I'm having fun, but at the same time I still want to put out a good product, and just try to get as many eyes and ears to the product as possible. So, but if it becomes a thing of like, you know, knock on wood, I start actually making good money from this, maybe I'll turn this into a career, but I doubt it. But again, at the end of the day, I'm just here to have fun, but still put out a good product. But yeah, just get views. Also been putting out clips of like segments from the show, which I need to do today. We had a conversation about the Shane McMahon AEW thing, which was a pretty nice conversation. So I'll need to splice that up and put it on YouTube. See what that gets us. But yeah, there's all that. But so yeah, anyone listening, so we tried to do something new. We tried to talk on like a Discord channel, but didn't work out. So we just went with the old ways, and we're just recording on a call. But it's August the 1st. It's now officially August. We're out of July. We're getting close to summer being finished, which kind of like last year, July went by pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And I think it went by quicker last year. This year it still went by pretty quick, but not as quick. But yeah, we're already in August. We're here to talk about some shit, some news, some comic news, some movie news, specifically one movie, and also some big news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con. So let's kind of get the big elephant out of the way, because it's been a week, which is weird to think about. But Deadpool and Wolverine came out last week. We went opening night on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. I think you said you went on Saturday, right?
Yep. That's why I wasn't on the net all day long on Saturday.
I was gonna say, how'd you avoid spoilers for the next 2 days?
Because I don't go on TikTok and I don't go on Twitter.
Okay, that's what I did. I uninstalled TikTok because TikTok is worse about it. Like they are terrible about it. So I actually uninstalled it at the beginning of the week. Twitter wasn't as bad if you just stay out of like searches. YouTube is hit or miss, but I stayed off of YouTube. If I was like uploading something, I just would just upload it and wouldn't look at anything else. So I avoided spoilers as much as possible, which I'm glad I did, because ended up being a better experience. One spoiler they did put out in a trailer, which I'm like, why did you put that out in the trailer? Why couldn't that just be a surprise? Which I don't know if that was a Ryan Reynolds thing or if that was a Disney thing, but it's just like, why did you put that out in the trailer? I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. But
X-23.
Yeah, our theater was pretty packed. So, and I was kind of surprised. I'm like, yeah, we're not really dealing with any annoying people, because lately, last few movie experiences I've been to, we've had to deal with annoying people on their phones, bringing their kids. This was none of that. Like, we actually had people that were well behaved and like actually ready to watch the movie and just not cause problems. But long story short, we love the movie. The movie started off hot, like any Deadpool movie would start off with, and it started off hot, it ended hot. My experience was that I was overwhelmed, but in a good way, because there was just so much shit going on that I think if they added like one more cameo, I would have been like, I can't take anymore. Like, please stop. Like, my heart can only take so much. I just enjoy the movie from top to bottom. I said in my review, I think it was a love letter to comic book fans. Like, this, one thing about the Deadpool movies is that Ryan Reynolds very much stays faithful to the material and to the character. This legit seemed like a Deadpool movie or Deadpool comic book come to life. This like legit seemed like you were reading a Deadpool comic book or a Wolverine comic book. Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool. Mm-hmm. I cannot see him as anything other than Deadpool. He gets the role. Like, this has been ingrained in the system for 20 years, since he was on the set of Blade Trinity and someone told him, you're acting like Deadpool and not,
which he definitely did.
Yeah, like someone told him, cause playing Hannibal King, which I don't know much about the character, but apparently he was being too comedic, and someone told him, you're acting too much like Deadpool, and they gave him Deadpool comic books. And he had been wanting to be that character for the longest time, and then he did Origins, which which he took that role admittedly because someone had told him straight up, we're either going to make this film with or without you. So he had to take the role because he loved Deadpool so much, and then they sew his mouth shut, which is like, he's the merc with the mouth. Why would you sew his mouth shut? But anyways, it's neither here nor there. And then we had Deadpool and we had the test footage, which Ryan Reynolds, likes to say I may or may not have had something to do with that being released. Then it got released in 2016. He ended up getting a Golden Globe nomination for Deadpool, which is just insane. The first Deadpool is a classic. It changed the game for comic book movies. Deadpool 2 I liked. I thought there was some problems with that, personally, like villain problems, and then after a while I think it kind of lost track of what it was supposed to be, and it ended up just being like just Deadpool doing Deadpool shtick. Like, sometimes too much Deadpool can maybe be a problem, but like I still enjoyed it. This one I liked more than 2. Not as good as the first one, I'll say that, because I think the first one was just like, it was just that good. Like, it's still a classic. Not to say this one isn't, but this one I is not as good as 1 in my opinion. But like, and then Hugh Jackman, of course, coming back as Wolverine. Hasn't been Wolverine, in 7 years since Logan. And it's funny because they kept saying we're not going to desecrate the memory of Logan, and that's kind of what they did in the beginning of the movie. Hey, get the fuck off the computer, you dipshit. Dude, hold on.
They did not desecrate Logan.
Oh, they desecrated Logan, all right. Like, they began the movie with saying, I wonder, like, for anyone that thought we weren't going to desecrate the memory of Logan, we totally are. And they just took the skeleton of, the adamantium skeleton of Logan out and just used it to beat the shit out of everybody while Bye 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 was playing. Which, I cannot get that song out of my head now. I haven't thought about that song in years, and Deadpool has made me think about that song. So, thank you, Deadpool. But, yeah, Hugh was great. Hugh was born to play Wolverine. There's really nobody else I can think of that can play him. Like, whoever plays him needs to be like, that's the blueprint is Hugh Jackman. They need to find someone that's just as good as him. Like, it's going to be difficult to find anyone that can replace him. It's funny because, like, watching the movie made me realize this is probably the most powerful Wolverine.
Yeah, it felt like he was. How can I put this in a? It felt earned by the time the final scene rolled through and they were wrecking shop and he put on the cowl. It felt like he earned the opportunity to be Wolverine. It felt earned. Right,
like he was actually moving around like an animal. Like the fighting scenes, like he's like crawling on the ground and jumping. I'm like this is different. Like, this actually seems like comic book Wolverine and not. And again, no disrespect to the X-Men movies he did, but it's just like you didn't really get a lot of that in those movies.
Disrespect them.
Well, no, I think the closest is X2. Like, X2 was where you got to see Hugh Jackman actually be Wolverine. But yeah, this was, he, like you said, it felt earned, and he was actually being comic book Wolverine. Like, he was ferocious and, beating the shit out of people and stabbing them and killing them. And yeah, this is probably the strongest Wolverine I've seen Hugh Jackman play. Like, next to Logan, this is his best portrayal as Wolverine. Bar none. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything can top Logan, because Logan, if we're talking about comic book films, Logan actually seemed like a film. Like, if people won't talk about cinema, Logan felt like cinema. If you want to put it that way. But Deadpool Wolverine, this was his best outing as Wolverine, as far as like a comic book, adaptation of Wolverine. He was great. The violence. This is the most violent Deadpool out of all of them. Like, just, you legit see people getting their heads chopped off and just so much blood everywhere.
Blood spilling all over the place.
Like, how much was that blood budget? I imagine.
The buckets for that was just astronomical, man.
And then
made for a good visual, especially in the beginning where the blood was covering the snow.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. That's fantastic. Yeah,
Uh,
that was a great
uh,
visual.
a lot of cussing, a lot of swear words. There were someone put that there were over 100, fucks dropped in the film. At least 80 of those had to be from Wolverine,
Yeah,
because every sentence out
he
of
was
his
letting
mouth,
it loose.
yeah, every sentence out of his mouth was fuck,
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker, fuck you, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Let's fucking go.
which granted, Deadpool was annoying the shit out of him, and
Mm-hmm.
it was the
Mm-hmm.
classic case of the straight man and the funny guy. Whereas in this case,
Which,
Wolverine was the angry straight man.
which has
And
always been their relationship when you really think about it, though.
oh yeah,
So it's nothing
um,
new.
yeah, they had gay. Hugh and Ryan had great chemistry, which obviously because they're best friends in real life, and you can tell that they've been waiting for this for years, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
it paid off. Like it had the vibe of like a classic buddy comedy, where you had the angry straight man and you had the annoying funny guy, and it paid off. Um, so that worked. Obviously the cameos, which we'll talk about the cameos. The cameos are great, even though one of them was spoiled in the trailer, and a few of them we kind of figured that was going to happen because I know one of them was kind of announced, but it wasn't official. But we kind of figured that was going to happen. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Two of them were unexpected and they were great. Actually, three of them were unexpected and they were great. Like they fit well into the story. Um, and I love them. So one of them got the biggest pop in the whole theater. I'm pretty sure you know what that is. Um, and what I liked about the cameos is that they actually played a role in the story. They weren't just like, "Hey, we're here. Remember us?"
Yeah.
Like, and also like when you think about it, a cameo lasts a lot longer than just 2 minutes. Like when I think of a cameo, I think of like, "Hey, we're here for like a minute and then we're gone." These
Mm-hmm.
lasted a lot longer than just a minute, and they actually had speaking roles. And there are a lot of insider terms used, so for a lot of people, maybe that would have lost them. Like for someone like me and you, like we kind of get those terms. Uh, but yeah, overall, I love the cameos. A few things that didn't really work, or I guess a few criticisms I had, was the villain. I was kind of back and forth with, whereas like I wasn't really understanding what she wanted. She was definitely a creepy villain. Like she really played up on the horror aspects of her character. And she was entertaining. Like you can tell she was having fun with the character. Like she didn't seem one note or anything. It's just I was having a hard time deciding what she actually wanted. Um, the whole TVA thing, I'm kind of over. I just was like, can we move on from the TVA already? And I get why they need to include the TVA in here. Um, the dude playing the TVA agent, I thought was entertaining. I thought he was actually pretty funny. Um, what else was I gonna say? Wolverine's backstory, I kind of had a problem with because I felt like I needed more from it rather than just, hey, this happened and here's some dramatic exposition. But maybe there's a reason for that because I was expecting a little bit more until we get into like our actual spoiler review. But like, other than that, I gave the movie an A. I would have given it an A plus, other than the stuff we just mentioned. But like, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. This was a love letter to comic fans. This was everything I wanted out of the movie. This is what Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be. So I loved it. It's an A for me. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. I knew it was going to be my favorite movie of the year. So, but what did you think about it?
Yeah. To echo what you said, love letter to comic book fans out there, especially for people that wanted to see a Wolverine done right, to a certain degree, and a lot of people that didn't get a chance to end and part way with certain characters. There was a chance for redemption for them, and one last final bow. Maybe even others getting a chance to have a dream role, in another instance. So I thought the movie was fine. I thought my critique, one of my critiques with it, more than anything, was the pacing of the film. thought the pacing wasn't where it needed to be. But I get it. You're trying to have the action. You're trying to have your moments with the cameos and extended cameos, I guess you can call it, right? That'd be more accurate to say. And still trying to tell a story of Wolverine and trying to develop his character through the movie. Because honestly, that's what it felt like to me. It was a character development story for this interpretation of Wolverine. So, but other than that, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't come into it expecting like some grando extravaganza or anything like that. But yeah, no, I got what I was looking for, and I got some bloody action. I got bad language, and I got to see some people, like I said, reignite the roles that they had and that they didn't get a chance to part ways with on better terms, and a guy getting a chance to live a dream. So like that was cool to me. And as far as Cassandra Nova goes, that bald ass head, that bean was rocking. It was beaming, boy. Her oh man, her going through people's heads literally, that shit was creepy as fuck, bro. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was just like, ugh, that made me uneasy. Like, again, I like the horror stuff. But
her literally sticking her fingers through the back of somebody's head, and her fingers is coming out of their nose. Like, what the fuck? That shit was creepy. That shit was creepy. And you know what though? You know, they said she's Professor Xavier's twin, right? And everything, right?
Yeah.
It would have been, they missed the opportunity to have James McAvoy. Like,
I was saying that, like, because like to me, she was acting maybe more like McAvoy rather than Stewart.
And her and McAvoy with the bald head, she looks like McAvoy.
Yeah.
Her and McAvoy kind of look similar. So I think they missed an opportunity to wheel McAvoy out there, even if it was just for a hot second.
Yeah, like he did an interview because he's promoting a movie, and he said he never got a call about showing up to do the role. And I'm like, how though?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. How?
I don't know. Like, McAvoy and Stewart were both great, obviously, but like, I think the difference between them is McAvoy had more of a darkness to his character.
Yeah.
Which I thought would have worked better for Emma Corrin. That's her name. Or that's their name, because I think she's non-binary from what I heard. But like, yeah. But yeah, just I guess we can get into spoilers already. So we're not gonna go through like segment by segment, but just like, obviously the movie began hot, with Deadpool, with the Marvel Studios theme and Deadpool singing, and then giving like insider baseball terms about whatchamacallit, the merger with Fox and blah blah blah, and then going back to the end of Logan and desecrating Wolverine's grave, and the TVA coming after him, and then you just hear "Bye Bye Bye" from NSYNC playing, which I open up TikTok and that's literally all I hear from each video is "Bye Bye Bye." I'm like, this song is gonna be with me for a while. I can already tell. So, just like every other Deadpool movie, it opens with a montage of another song. I think the first movie was Angel in the Morning. The second movie, I think, was I'm All Out of Love. And then this one was Bye Bye Bye, which, surprisingly, that was not Ryan Reynolds dancing. That was another dancer doing the NSYNC moves, which NSYNC actually led a hand in helping him do the moves, which I thought was pretty cool. All the music, the majority of the music in the movie was Blake Lively's ideas. Like, she's the one that told Ryan Reynolds put more Gen Z, music in the movie because it'll I guess be more relatable to them. So, and it paid off. But yeah, he's just a bloody opening. He kills a bunch of TV agents in the most gruesome, Deadpooliest way. Chopping off heads, using Wolverine's claws, and like getting stuck up some guy's ass. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. He's like, oh, Wolverining is hard. And then kills another guy by just bouncing his katana sword into his mouth and like pays homage to Will Smith saying "Keep Ken and his name out of your fucking mouth," which I thought that was funny. I thought that kill was pretty cool. But yeah, just again, we talk about the violence. The violence was violent. This is probably the most violent, bloodiest Deadpool movie out of all of them. They had a big ass budget. This is the big budget for a reason. It was a Marvel Studios Deadpool production. Mm-hmm. So they got some cashola. And then just of course bring in Wolverine. Both Wolverine fights I thought were great. The one in the desolate Mad Max area, that we saw in the trailers. Not all of it though, but it was still a pretty cool fight. The fight in the car is my favorite out of both of those. That was my favorite fight because it was more enclosed, and I rank it up there with the Winter Soldier elevator scene and the Daredevil hallway scene as just being the most memorable MCU fights. And Buddy, of course, because Wolverine tells off Deadpool, and tells him, you're a fucking joke, and no wonder your girlfriend left you, and saying that God's favorite joke is to keep you alive, blah blah blah, because you couldn't fix a relationship with a goddamn stripper. And then Deadpool says, "I'm gonna fight you now," and then he punches him in the face, and they proceed to fight to Grease. You're the one that I love, and it's a fight that goes on all night because it ends with Deadpool being covered in a bunch of seatbelts and Wolverine passed out. It was such a fucking good fight. I love it. But what are some scenes that stood out to you?
The stuff in the void, like you said, the opening scene we talked about, the fight scene in the car. Anytime Cassandra Nova stuck her hand in somebody's the back of somebody's head and tried to warp their brain like a goddamn puppet. That was interesting. And to me, the ending scene, seeing some of the OGs and the guy that got his dream role, seeing them get a chance to go, that was really fun to watch. So yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of standout scenes, but as far as the action goes, I was definitely some of my favorite ones. So, and as far as like I said, the whole stuff with Wolverine, trying to his redemption arc, even though we didn't see what started that road to begin with, we just got hearsay and shit. But to me, the stuff with him was really, really, really good. So,
oh yeah,
I thought that Hugh Jackman, I thought this perfect. What he did in this movie was really, really good, and I feel like anytime he was just riding off the emotions, that shit was really, really good to me. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I have my complaints about the movie are very, very minimal, man. There's not too much that I hated. I only hated the pacing. That was it.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not hating on nothing. I thought the action was great, and I thought when it was time to tell an emotional vocal story, an emotional place, I thought they did that as well.
Yeah, with Hugh Jackman, let's kind of go back to that. In the trailers, they were saying, this Wolverine let down his whole universe, and I was thinking, are we going to get the beginning of Old Man Logan? Where, if anyone read the Old Man Logan comic book, it begins with Wolverine being manipulated by Mysterio into killing the whole X-Men. I thought that's what we were getting. That's, this Wolverine we were getting to tell a more emotionally devastating story. But we didn't. We just got Wolverine, having a scene with Laura X-23 and telling her, this happened. I went away. I left one night drinking and the humans came. Which that's another thing. I'm kind of the humans came? I mean, aren't you guys supposed to be superheroes? But was it a thing of the humans came with the Sentinels and the Sentinels killed us? Because if that's the reason, that makes more sense. But the whole thing of the humans came, that kind of doesn't really make any sense to me. But yeah, I just would have liked to have gotten more from that story other than just, hey, this happened. And the relationship that he had with Laura in this, I don't think was as strong as the one in Logan. I would have, which
I don't think. I think that's a piece of the part that they didn't want to desecrate.
Right.
Just that stuff was like really, really good, and you can't come back from that, and you can't make a natural relationship given where he was at and where she was at. You know.
No, I get you. But yeah, it was good to see Daphne Keane back. It's weird because like Logan came out 7 years ago, and now she looks like a grown ass woman, but I think she's still 19. Which is crazy.
The amount of grown men pining over this girl is
weird. That's weird. Yeah, that is weird because I'm like, because I remember someone posted something like, "How old is she exactly?" Because she's dressing like a grown ass woman, and it's like she's 19. I'm like, dudes, like seriously.
I thought she was 17.
She was like what 11, 12 when she did Logan, and now she's a grown ass woman. But it's just like, yeah, guys, come on, know better. But she was great in this film.
Yes, she was. She's I would say she's this generation's Dakota Fanning as far as like, you know, just smashing it as a child, and now she's working her way up to a young woman, and she's still smashing it, and she's getting better and better.
Yeah.
You know, so
another thing people pointed out was like she lost her accent from the first Logan movie, because in the first Logan movie she had an accent. Because in reality I think she's Spaniard, like she's from Spain, but she has a British accent in real life. But I don't know, like people were like, "Oh, she lost her accent." I'm like, "Well, she grew up." Like, what do you want? Like, when you grow up, you lose your accent? I guess that's... I mean, I didn't really, like, harp on that too much. I was just like, oh, well, she was a little kid, and, you know, the character she was playing, she grew up in a lab. So maybe when she grew up and became a grown-ass woman, she lost her accent. I don't know what you want me to tell you. But,
well, maybe she traveled the road, got some seasoned education.
Yeah, like she said, you know, when she was talking to Wolverine, I got to have a life because of you. Like, you helped me. So, and just that line of like, you were always the wrong guy until you weren't.
Yeah.
So that was a good line. And just, you know, let's talk about the other cameos. The first one, well, actually, the first one came at the beginning of the movie. Jon Favreau as Happy, which I wasn't expecting that. Like that was pretty cool because I like Jon Favreau, and you know the timeline being that it was in March of 2018. So I'm thinking, is that supposed to mean something? Like, was this around the time when the merger happened, or was this in MCU timeline? Was this before Infinity War happened? Like, I was just like, what's going on? But like, Deadpool was trying to get into the Avengers, and he's talking to Jon Favreau. Like, he's not being overly vulgar, which is weird because, like he said, was it masturbating in the lobby? And John, you know, Happy's like, what's masturbating? It's when you get two Hulk hands and you just really hammer the groin area.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know, I'm sorry, when is the big guy coming? Oh, the big guy. Who do you mean? You know, the big guy is like, and I forgot what the line was. Like, yeah, he's not really available to do cameos. Like, he's not available to work right now. He's busy. It would have been funny if he was walking out and Downey like came out behind him. He's like, who the fuck was that guy? But I don't know. It's like that would have been the most expensive cameo ever. But we'll get to Downey. We'll get to Downey later. We'll get to Downey later. But it was nice seeing Jon Favreau. Kind of slimmed down a little bit, in my opinion. But
I mean, look, he's a heavier guy. He's always been a heavier guy, and he's got to be in his 50s at this point. He's got to be his mid to late 40s, early 50s. So yeah. I mean, with that, you know, comes some health problems, and hey, you have to sacrifice a whole chicken or two.
You're right. Other cameos, we ended up getting. Well, actually, I guess the ones before that were the scenes where Deadpool was looking for different Wolverines.
Yeah.
And I, not really a complaint, I was kind of thinking we would get different variants. Instead, we just got Hugh Jackman playing different versions of Wolverine, which was cool. But it's like I was figuring that they were gonna save Hugh Jackman for last.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's just like we got Hugh Jackman, but it was short Wolverine.
Okay.
It was short. Was it Short King, comically accurate Wolverine?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got like again, they just Ryan Reynolds just paying attention to detail. Like they took comic book ideas. Like they got the Wolverine in the brown suit, which I pop for because I love that suit. You know, with the Hulk cover, with Deadpool reciting Loki's line from Avengers, saying, "I'm a god, you dull creature." But it's like he says, "I'm Marvel genius, you dull creature. I will not be." You got Wolverine as Patches, which I was kind of thinking that'd be another variant cameo too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Henry Cavill as Wolverine, which I heard rumors about that, but I wasn't thinking it. But it's funny because I'm like, you saw him from the back and you look like really jacked. I'm like, that's probably a little too jacked to be Hugh Jackman, pun intended. And it ends up being Wolverine. He's like, the Cavalrine. I just want to tell you, I speak for everyone when I say this just feels right. We'll treat you better than the fuckheads down the street. And he says you were just leaving, and then like he cocked his arms like he did in Mission Impossible and punched Deadpool just back into the next variant dimension, which ended up being the Wolverine that we got.
Yeah.
Other variants that we got it was an Apocalypse comic book with Wolverine. It was like Wolverine with like the grungy 80s, hair metal hair. And got Wolverine on the Cross, which Hugh Jackman obviously wearing a fake beard and a fake wig, which I thought was kind of funny, but falls into the Wolverine that we got for the movie, which was drunk off his ass. Everyone hates him, Wolverine, and then he ends up passing out, and he's coincidentally wearing his suit under his clothes, and then he brings him back to the TVA, and they get sent to whatchamacallit, the wasteland essentially. But that was fun. What did you think about the montage with the different Wolverines?
I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought that you could have used different actors, like maybe you could use Harry Potter there because he was another guy that's been attached to Wolverine. I noticed with the Henry Cavill, his name was attached to do Wolverine and stuff like that for a while. So maybe they could have used different actors over to just to get the hue. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. A nice ode to the comic books.
Yeah, like I was expecting different actors, like you said. I know Daniel Radcliffe his name was kind of thrown out there. I know your boy Taron Egerton was another one kind of thrown out there. It would have been nice to have more variants, and then that could have been the joke of like Deadpool. Every time he sees a different variant, he's like, "You're not Wolverine, like you're not Hugh Jackman." And then it ends with obviously Hugh Jackman. But I don't know, just kind of a small missed opportunity there. But maybe it was one of those things of they were trying to and then they couldn't. So, but I don't know. I'm not complaining. And then other, big cameos when you get to the wasteland. You had Tyler Mane. What's his name? Tyler? Is that name Tyler Mane?
Yeah, Tyler Mane.
Tyler Mane. Another one spoiled in the trailers, which I'm like, you couldn't let us be surprised, but whatever. Comes back as Sabretooth, which a little surprised we couldn't get Liev Schreiber.
He was the better Sabretooth anyways.
I mean, maybe it was a thing of they were trying to and they couldn't. Because I know there were a lot of actors that came out and said that they were trying to get a deal for to come back in this movie and they couldn't. I know Vinnie Jones, like he said, they were talking about him coming back as Juggernaut, but they just couldn't get anything done. And also he admitted just getting back in the suit is mentally taxing, which I get. He's also an older man, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to go through that shit again.
Yeah. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, just other actors I'm surprised never came back. I'm surprised Kelly Hu never came back. Or no, Kelly Wu, is that her name? Shelley Wu?
No, Kelly Hu.
There you go. Ray Park, I'm surprised didn't come back as Toad. I know people thought that black guy in the back was supposed to be Blade, but I'm like, that's not Blade. And come to find out that
it's Bullseye.
Yeah, it was a Bullseye variant, which I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting Colin Farrell to come back as Bullseye because,
Yeah, no.
which I mean, would have been cool. But yeah,
Bullseye.
but I mean, he's already Penguin, so I'm pretty sure he's not gonna have time. I mean, I don't know, maybe bring back Sticky Fingers as,
Sticky fingers. I was just talking to Morgan's boyfriend about that last week. We was talking. He's like, he didn't even know they did a Blade TV show. I was like, yeah, Sticky Fingers. He's like, what? Sticky Fingers? I was like, yeah, it was Blade.
And then speaking of Blade, I guess we'll jump into it to kind of go with the
Yeah.
joke. Kind of go with the joke I was gonna give. Wesley Snipes coming
Yeah.
back as Blade, 62 years
We got-
old.
We had bootleg Blade and we had the real Blade.
It would have been funny if you bring in Sticky Fingers and like Wesley Snipes just easily just decimates him.
He just splits him in half with a sword. That would have been great.
Most motherfuckers keep ice skating uphill. But yeah, it was good to see Wesley Snipes back because I wasn't expecting that, and also because of the history with Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds,
yeah.
which they did talk about that, where Wesley goes, "I don't like you," and then Deadpool goes, "You never did." And then Wesley, according to Wesley, they've always gotten along, which I'm like, yeah, sure.
Hey, I
Which
don't believe that. Body language is the ultimate telltale of everything. Sorry, Wesley, you're not fooling me, pal. You and Ryan Reynolds hated each other.
I mean, he kind of admitted somewhat that Ryan was doing things on the set that he wasn't a fan of. But again, it's one of those things of maybe a few years ago, maybe they squashed their beef.
Yeah.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But like to say, oh, we're always friends. I'm like, yeah,
It was
sure.
over 20 years ago. That's enough time to mature, settle down, and let bygones be bygones, and just agree to just do your thing and I'll do my thing. So, 20 years is way, way much time to settle all kinds of shit. So, but
So,
yeah, at the time, no, they were definitely beefing, bro.
yeah, apparently
Oh my
Ryan
God.
apparently Ryan Reynolds is the one that got everybody in this movie. Like he's the one that got Hugh in. He's the one that got Emma
Well,
Corrin
of
in.
course.
He's the one that got Jim Gardner, as Elektra and Channing Tatum as
Sexy, yeah.
Gambit. Which fuck yeah, Jennifer Garner still looks good. Like when she
Oh,
came
she
out,
does.
like I've always thought Jennifer Garner was pretty. I always thought
Yeah.
she was like, what's the best way to put this? She's like your friend's really pretty mom that
Yeah.
you've always thought was attractive, and she's a very nice person, and she's nice to all of her friends' kids. She picks them up from soccer practice, but it's just like she puts on that Elektra outfit. I'm like,
Mm.
it's like fuck.
Humana.
It's like Alias,
Especially-
Alias all over again. Jesus Christ, that's what started my thing for her. But
Yeah.
she looked great. Again, a lot of insider baseball terms, like when they were saying Daredevil died. Devil's like, I'm sorry. She goes, yeah, that's fine.
Mm-mm.
And then Channing Tatum is Gambit, which I'm again, I know these are celebrities at the end of the day, but I'm happy for Channing Tatum that he got to be Gambit. Like I feel bad for him because his movie was a victim of circumstance. Because
He really wanted to do that movie badly.
he really moved heaven and earth. Like they had that infamous Comic-Con photo where like everybody in the X-Men, Fox, Marvel universe came out in the picture, and then there was that nice little moment where Channing Tatum was actually helping Stan Lee walk off the stage. Like he came up to him and was like, "Hi, Mr. Lee, I'm Channing Tatum. Do you need help?" Which I'm like, this is a good guy. I like. And so he really moved heaven and earth to make that movie happen, and because of the merger and just like different circumstances of like directors and writers leaving the film, it never happened. And he admitted it was soul crushing. Like he said that he got PTSD from it happening, and like he couldn't even watch like other Marvel films because it's like my film couldn't get made. Like this sucks. But then Ryan Reynolds, who's like again who got everybody in this film was like, hey, come play Gambit for a day, and then he got to finally be Gambit. He put on the suit. He had the cards. The accent was hit or miss.
Well, definitely, without a doubt. That was shaky. It was shaky.
Which, again, Channing Tatum is supposed to be from Louisiana. It's like that's the best Cajun accent you can do. But and again, I'm not gonna cut his balls off for that. But like, he got to have fun, and he looked happy, and he's obviously elated that he got to, be Gambit finally. And when the fight scene happened with all was it 5 or 6 people, like he really had to be Gambit. Like he was, throwing around the cards, and so I'm happy for Channing Tatum. I truly am happy for Channing Tatum.
Blowing bitches up with the cards.
The dialogue was kind of funny where he's like, I came out on my daddy's dick, like hell yeah. I'm like, what? Like what are you talking about? And then just seeing 62-year-old Wesley Snipes just out there actually doing his own stunts. Like I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy can still go.
I can't take Wesley Snipes seriously no more.
Why?
He's done too many suspect movie roles for me, man.
Like what?
He did a movie where he was gay, and then he did another movie where he was gay and he was wearing a dress. I was like, what?
And
I said, Wesley Snipes, is this what you become?
Like, and?
And this is what you... I can't look past that anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. But once I see that, and I'm supposed to come back and take you seriously again as Blade, I'm like, damn, man, what the fuck are we doing?
I don't know, Wolverine. I don't know, Hugh Jackman did musicals, so there's really nothing wrong with that.
And he also had balls hanging from his chin, and I gave him shit about that, too. He had balls with chin or neck or some shit like that. That shit was funny as fuck, that one movie. I'm like, what?
Movie 43, I think that was what it was called.
Balls dangling from like either his chin or his neck. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just like
that was crazy.
It's like, Hugh, what favor did you owe to somebody to do that shit?
I know, right, man? It's like, wow.
But that was fun.
But nonetheless, it was good seeing him do his thing again. He's probably done his Blade. This is probably it for him. But yeah, damn, he got a chance to play it one more time. Same thing with Jennifer Garner. I don't expect to see her back as Elektra no time soon. So they had a good ride. They had a good ride and a nice little finish, as far as I'm concerned. And Channing Tatum, I'm glad he got a chance to live out a dream. So can't hate on that whatsoever. Can't hate on that.
And then the another big cameo was Chris Evans.
As Johnny Storm, who out of those four from the original Fantastic Four series or duology, I thought he was the best part of that. And to me, he embodied everything about Johnny Storm. If you ever read a comic, if you ever seen a TV show, any type of form of media, to me, Chris Evans perfectly embodied what it was to be Johnny Storm. So that was cool. That was cool to see him back as Johnny Storm. And a lot of people was bitching about Pyro being the one to end him, but it's like Pyro can manipulate fire. He doesn't cause it, but he can manipulate it. So to me, it made sense, just knowing Pyro the character. And it was good to see him Pyro too. I like Aaron Stanford, so that was cool seeing him in there.
Yeah, they were fun. It was fun to see them.
Aaron Stanford is really good. He plays a good little shitload villain.
Yeah, like
I don't know what he's been up to the last 15 years or whatever, because I really don't see him in much things. But he was in this show me and my mom was watching the summer of 2007 called Traveler, where it was him and the dude from was it the dude from, not the dude from Suits? Damn, I forgot what the name of that show. Logan Marshall Green was the other guy, and I forgot the guy from what's the name of that show?
Numbers?
No, not Numbers. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you who he is right now. Because Logan Marshall Green was the third guy. Aaron Stafford, he was the main guy. It's gonna kill me.
Because I have his I guess his movie history up.
Matt Boomer, that's his name.
Yeah, the Traveler.
He was what was the main show he did?
Traveler. Oh, Matt Bomer.
No, White Collar. That was the show he did.
White Collar. There
for years.
Yeah, he's.
It was those three. Those three.
As far as movies goes, the last thing I remember seeing him in other than the X-Men movies, was a horror movie. It was The Hills Have Eyes. Um,
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't really seen him in too much shit. But yeah, it was good to see him back because he definitely does play that shit, heel, so to
He's
speak.
almost 50. Holy
He
shit.
looks 50 or he is 50.
No, no, he's almost 50. He's 47 years old.
Yeah, he doesn't look too bad.
He's 2 years younger than my mom. That's crazy. He was like a teenage boy 20 years ago. I mean, granted, my mom looked like really young 20 years ago too, but shit, he looked like a kid for real. Like, goddamn,
I like
that's
that they
crazy.
I like that they brought him back because
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I mean, there could have been so many other choices to choose from, like the obvious ones, but I'm glad that they brought him back specifically because he looked like he was just having fun in the role. Because I thought he was good in X2 and
Yeah.
X3. So,
hmm
and like what you said, what really brought him back to the role was the fact that he got to wear a more comically accurate costume. Where he named, I
Yeah.
think, like Old Man Logan as a or something, some X-Men comic, I forget, but like yeah, he named it like specifically. So it's good to see him back. Yeah, Chris Evans, like he got brought back as Johnny Storm and not Cap, and that was the joke with the bit where like Deadpool thought it was Captain America and thought he was gonna give the Avengers Assemble line, but he ends up saying "Flame on." Deadpool's like, "What?" And then he becomes Johnny
Mhm.
Storm, and then just easily gets dealt with by Pyro. So I thought that was funny, and I just like the idea of Chris Evans being like, "I don't want to be Captain America, but I'll gladly come back as Johnny Storm, and just be myself." Like he wasn't. It wasn't even like so much he was being Johnny Storm. It felt like he was just being Boston Chris Evans.
Yeah,
Because
he's just chilling and being himself.
a lot of people forget Chris Evans is from Boston, so you just got to be a Boston guy for once, and I thought that was funny.
Mhm.
And again, he just looked like he was having so much fun. And again, that was the thing of like Ryan Reynolds said, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." So it's good seeing him back for the time being. But yeah, again, just nitpick as a fan. I would have liked to see maybe some other cameos, but maybe it was
Yeah,
a thing of like they were trying to do something and they just
I
couldn't
would have
get
loved to
everybody.
have. I would have loved to have seen the original X-Men cast one more time.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing of like I would have liked to see, Halle Berry. Halle Berry posted pics of her and like her storm hair, and just maybe to see her get her actual like justice as Storm. Um,
Yeah,
Maybe see Famke Janssen, Famke Janssen's fine ass one more time. Oof. Um, I know they talked about Magneto that he got killed by Cassandra Nova. I'm like, so was it Fassbender or was it uh uh what the fuck's his name?
Yes.
McKellen.
McKellen,
So it would have been nice to see
Sir
them.
Ian McKellen.
Sorry, McKellen. They talked about the
Yeah,
Punisher. I'm like, was it Thomas Jane? Was it Dolph Lundgren? It would have been funny if they brought in Dolph Lundgren as the
yeah. Everybody's
Punisher.
expecting Miss Jane and his fucking Dolph. That would have been funny. That really would have been funny.
I know Betty would have popped for that because she loves Dolph Lundgren. Um,
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. He probably
yeah,
wouldn't have been able to show up. Obviously not Bernthal because he's got his own thing going on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
He's
again,
acting right.
I'm always an apologist to that Punisher movie with Jane. I thought it was good. I liked
Yeah,
it.
it was a good movie.
That was very under the radar. Just John Travolta as the villain. Oof. But anyways, that's neither here nor
Our
there.
saint, that booty chin.
Booty chin.
I can't take a guy seriously with a booty chin as a bad guy. It's John Travolta.
John, I don't think you take anyone seriously with a booty chin, regardless.
Yeah, except for Vince McMahon, but that's a different story.
Oh, ooh. We don't talk about that. But anyways,
We talk about McNasty.
Mc McNasty. Um, One thing I thought was kind of interesting. Someone pointed this out. I don't know if this is true, but like this scene where Nova pulls out the Doctor Strange thing, the ring. She said, an amateur, magician rolled into town and I killed him with ease and I took his ring. I'm like, and someone said that was Johnny Blaze that she killed, which I'm like, huh. I mean, that'd be interesting if like she killed Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So But again, it was another thing of like, it would have been so cool if we got maybe one more big cameo, like Nicolas Cage as fucking Ghost Rider. But
look into my eyes, give me one more last penny stare.
But then again, well, yeah, I don't want to say then again, but like Nicolas Cage gives it his all in anything. So it would have been funny seeing Deadpool try to keep up with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but like, what else? Yeah, just the action scenes, and then towards the end with the, I guess the Deadpool core, which that was kind of another issue I had where it felt more like a video game mission rather than like something I should care about more, if that makes sense. Because like all they did was kept talking about it, but we really got to I guess spend more time with it, because that was kind of another narrative issue that I had with the movie, where like the things that seemed more important weren't really talked about as much, like the Wolverine and his backstory, and also Deadpool's whole thing was like, my whole life is in this picture, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of not caring, because we haven't had too much time to spend with Vanessa, and Vanessa's supposed to be the love of his life, and we never really got too much time with her. And granted, maybe that would have made the movie longer, but I don't know, just I would have liked more time with Vanessa to make us really care more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I do.
It was nice seeing Ryan Reynolds play Nice Pool, which, I don't know, that one scene where he looks into the camera and goes, "The proposal," and Deadpool's like, "That's not how it fucking works." But yeah, the Deadpool core came in, and Blake Lively was Lady Deadpool, not Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, based Deadpool off of Blake Lively because his wife was a Gossip Girls fan. So I thought that was kind of cool. Their kids were Kidpool and was it Baby Deadpool? Which I'm like, all right, nepotism, but cool. Matthew McConaughey was the cowboy Deadpool, which it took me the second time to hear him talk to realize, okay, that's Matthew McConaughey, because he has such a distinct voice.
Yeah,
and Nathan Fillion was Headpool, which I didn't know that until I saw the credits. So I'm like, all right, Nathan Fillion just plays any weird comic book character. Yeah, that was a cool scene for obvious reasons. Like, Wolverine comes out, puts on the cowl, and Deadpool's like, "You had that the whole fucking time?" And he's like, "I only put it on for killing." And like, again, just the nerd in me, I saw that and I just was like, fuck yeah, the cowl. Which I expect.
My pants.
Fuck yeah, get your sock out, nerds.
Yeah.
And
my sock was at a great use.
Oh yeah. Which I'll say this about that cowl: I'm glad it was only for that scene.
Yes.
Because I think if you wore through the whole movie, it would have been distracting. Because the scene where they're like in the tunnel and they're talking, and you can clearly see Hugh Jackman has to look up to speak, or I guess to look at Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, okay, this was fun until it was. It's like I'll put like that. You know what I mean? Like this was cool, and now it's just okay. We need to see Hugh's face. Like that's his moneymaker. And just this where they have to sacrifice themselves, which again it was kind of a generic superhero plot device of like, we need to sacrifice ourselves to save the world, and they did, and they did a nice thing, for the ladies and also for the guys, if you're into that, where you see Hugh Jackman's, six pack, which
wouldn't be a Hugh Jackman Wolverine appearance without one. I think that's in his contract. He's got to show either his ass, cock, or he's got to show his abs. He's got to show something.
55 years old, like, goddamn, man, that's impressive.
Yeah, man, he's in fantastic shape.
Like, because like there was a part of me that was like, okay, he's in the costume. Like, is he really in the Wolverine shape that we know him as? And then that scene kind of like, it shut me the fuck up. I'll say that. Even Deadpool was like, and they played with that too, where like, the woman TV agent was like, hello, and then Deadpool was like, cover your tits, you slut. But it was a nice way to kind of end the movie where you had the happy, like they didn't do the Fast and Furious. Well, I guess they kind of did, but like they did the kind of Fast and Furious ish ending where everybody's sitting around the table and they're happy, and you know
Mhm.
Logan is pretty much like Uncle Logan at this point, and they brought back X-23, which I mean I guess that was kind of another thing because like I thought she died in the void, but I guess what's her name from Loki brought her back somehow. I don't know, but um, that's another thing someone kind of pointed out, which was the way the movie was kind of built was that it was going to get rid of those universes, but it really didn't. Like the Fox universe and the other universes, but they really didn't because they brought back X-23. But it is what it is. Like I didn't really like poo poo over it, but like yeah, I loved it. And I also love the stinger at the end where they had that montage of the Fox Marvel universe, set to Green Day, which I got a little bit more emotional than I thought I would watching it. So I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, like we really did grow up on these movies, because
Yeah.
before there was an MCU, like this was our MCU. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, take it or leave, Daredevil, stuff like that. Blade wasn't in the montage because Blade wasn't Fox. Blade was New Line. Um,
Yeah. New Line Cinema.
so yeah, I got emotional watching it because I'm like, oh wow, like this is my childhood growing up. But and then the post credit scene, which is one thing I did. Another thing I liked about the movie was that it wasn't a stepping stone for another movie. Like, yeah, it's obviously set up Secret Wars, but like it wasn't to set up another movie. It was its own thing. And Deadpool movies usually don't set up other movies. And this movie ended with Deadpool going, "For all you fuckers that thought I got Johnny killed, watch this." And then he doctors the footage to have Johnny Storm say what he said, and it's just like, just the idea of Chris Evans coming back and just being himself for a day and saying all that shit. I'm like, you can tell he was having fun. So I loved it. I can't say enough about it. Um, I think I've rambled too much, but yeah, closing thoughts about Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh man, like I said, I thought it was a fun movie. I thought it was a chance, like I said earlier, said it a couple of times. I'll say it again. A chance for a couple of characters, a couple of actors to have a nice, better closing ending with certain characters that they didn't get a chance to have 20, 25 years ago, 15, 25 years ago, whatever the case may be. And Channing Tatum getting to do a role of a lifetime to him. That was cool. Like I said, the overall developing story with Wolverine throughout the movie, really good stuff. The action, the violence, the language. It was a Deadpool movie, and it was really really cool. So yeah, man, I got nothing to say about it. Nothing bad to really say. Like I said, pacing was my only problem, but other than that, Deadpool for me, Deadpool Wolverine, 9 out of 10 for me personally. So that's how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, kind of basic score. I'm a 9, maybe like a 9.2 out of 10. But yeah, it's an A, not an A plus, but it's an A.
Right, right.
And then just another busy weekend for Marvel because you had San Diego Comic Con, which was the first time I think Marvel's been back for San Diego Comic Con in a while.
Right,
I
yeah.
think
Been a
the
while.
last time there was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this year it was kind of, I wouldn't say mid, but it was more just like, hey, these are the movies that are coming out that we already know about. It's like, okay, cool,
Yeah, no,
but
no real big news.
except at the end, but which we'll get to the end. But like
Right, right.
they basically just talked about Captain America 4, Brave New World, and they brought out
Hmm.
the rest of the cast. Harrison Ford looked like he was having fun,
Yeah,
which is kind of like the ironic because like the joke about Harrison Ford is that he doesn't look like he's having fun with anything, but he actually looked like he was
yeah,
having fun.
yeah. No, he
Um,
was up there playing around, and he grabbed somebody and put him in a chokehold or some shit like that. Nah, he looked like he was definitely having a good time.
they revealed that we're getting adamantium in
Yeah,
Captain America: Brave New World, which they kind of there was rumors about it, but
they
they're
alluded to it in the trailer.
Yeah, they're
Is it?
finally gonna acknowledge the celestial hanging out. That's in the ocean. That's made out of adamantium, allegedly.
Mhm.
So that's cool. Giancarlo revealed who he's playing, and that's Sidewinder, who's the leader of the Serpent Society.
Hmm.
So he's not going to be GW Bridge or I forget which other character they said he could be, but yeah, he's going to be
So
Sidewinder.
he's not. So he's not going to be George Washington Carver.
No, was it who is the creator of peanut butter? Who's the creator of peanut butter? George Washington something.
No, George Washington Carver.
Yeah, he's not the guy that
Yeah.
invented. He's not the guy that invented peanut butter. Who's trying to kill Captain America?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Giancarlo. He's awesome at everything. Even though I think he gets typecasted as the bad guy, but it's just like he's awesome. So
Way too much. Yeah, way too much now.
would have liked to see him play a different role, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently he's going to be around for a while. That's what he said out of his own mouth.
I hope so. He's Giancarlo. He's awesome and everything.
He said he's going to be in Daredevil and shit like that as well. So I mean,
I like to hear that.
you
Tim,
like the sound of that?
I love the sound of that.
Really, you like the sound of that, Dad, son?
I do. Yeah. Tim Blake Nelson returning as the leader. 16 years in the making, which is crazy. Which I think is kind of cool because I think Tim Blake Nelson's a really good actor, and the fact that they brought him back from the first movie 16 years ago, I thought was pretty cool.
He plays crazy very well and looks crazy too.
Which, from what I heard, Liv Tyler's going to be in the movie as well.
Good.
As Betty Ross. So
her dad's weird, but I mean, she I don't know. She was looking really damn good in that Incredible Hulk movie. I ain't gonna lie about it.
Yeah, I'll say this about the Incredible Hulk movie, and we'll move on. I thought it was a good pace. I thought the story wasn't bad. It was easy to follow, and they really played into the darkness of Bruce Banner. And for whatever shit people want to give Edward Norton, I thought he was a good Bruce Banner. I
agree with that.
Comic book accurate, Bruce Banner. It's just the last act of the movie was a little wonky. I'll just leave it at that. But
with Abomination at the end.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, Bone Crusher. I don't know what the fuck that was.
There you go. But yeah, just the rest of the Captain America 4, cool. It's coming out in February.
I'm cautious. I'm still cautious.
Me too.
Julius, that track record is not good. It's not good, son. So.
Which, compared to all the other people that attended Hall H, he was the only director that didn't show up. Yeah, it's just like Thunderbolts director showed up, Fantastic Four director showed up, even the surprise at the end they showed up, but yeah, he didn't show up.
So Julius thinks he's a little too good to show up to these kind of things, huh?
I don't know.
Interesting.
One thing that's I guess is a little worrisome about this movie,
or Drew, it might have been this. Maybe he knew the movie's the shits and didn't want to show up.
Well, I was gonna say one thing that's a little worrisome about this movie is they had to legit reshoot the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And because they had to reshoot, ended up, ballooning their budget. So, because allegedly this movie's supposed to have anywhere between like a $250-300 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
And at best, we can get a really good movie, but they still need to make their money back. They need this movie to be a hit financially and, critically. So
you damn right. Because guess what? If this movie's not good, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna be like, "Oh, see, Anthony Mackie can't carry it. He can't carry it." That's the first thing they're gonna do. Then they're gonna blame the director, which I mean, it ain't hard to do looking at his track record. And they're probably gonna want to try to throw a lot of money at Chris Evans to get him back. You know what I'm saying? So. This movie needs to be good, Drew. It needs to be good.
Yeah.
For my boy, what's his name? The Spanish guy that's gonna be playing the new Falcon.
Joaquin.
For him and Anthony Mackie's sake, this movie needs to be good. Because if not, I can see Kevin Feige punching the glass, pulling down the fire alarm. We gotta Chris Evans, $2 billion. We'll give you $2 billion to come back. For fuck's sake, please. And it's gonna be bad. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I think this movie would have benefited from having Bucky in it as well.
Yeah.
Bucky's not in this. He's gonna be in the Thunderbolts, but I think having Bucky and Falcon with him would have been nice. I think that would have been just a little bit more better because people like Bucky, they like the character, and they feel sorry for him and stuff like that. And him and Anthony Mackie work pretty good together. You know, all the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was really good to watch. So, as far as like their chemistry and stuff like that went, but I don't know, bro. Like I said, I love Captain America. I love these movies. I think the Captain America movies have been a great surprise because I remember when they made the first one and it dropped 2011.
Yeah,
I was concerned. I didn't think it was going to be all that great. I like Chris Evans, from the Human Torch and shit like that. And some of the other stuff I've seen him in, but I didn't think that Captain America was going to translate to movies as well as it did. And then when the Russo brothers got their hands on the other two, oh my god, oof!
Yeah.
Winter Soldier and fucking Civil War. My god, Winter Soldier was great. Like Captain America, like let's keep Spider-Man out of the equation, right? As far as MCU goes, to me, Captain America: Winter Soldier, that is the best MCU movie as far as like shit, like real consequences, grounded consequences, and just stuff that got shook up in that movie, man. Oh man, that, whew. And then the action, fucking fantastic. Matter of fact, I think I might watch that on the way to bed. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I love that.
It felt like a gritty spy thriller, and less of a superhero film.
My only complaint is that Crossbones was a bitch. It kind of bitched him out a little bit, too much for my liking. But other than that, I like the movie, man. I thought it was really, really good. So, like I said, man, Julius, like I said, his track record is not that great. So I'm concerned. I've been concerned. I know I sound like a broken record because we've been talking about this for a year now, but I just got this concern, man, and I just feel like Anthony Mackie is gonna get the blame if this movie doesn't do well because people could be like, "See, people ain't into a black Captain America. Anthony Mackie's not a big enough star." You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna start throwing that kind of stuff around, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair to him. No. You know, if the movie's bad, especially if it's bad.
I think the one advantage that could work for him is that they've done a good job at building him up in past movies, whereas. And I hate to kick dirt on this movie because I actually didn't hate it, but like the Marvels, the one of the main reasons why that didn't work, or one of many reasons, was just you have characters that people aren't that familiar with. Not everyone's familiar with Miss Marvel, which I love Miss Marvel and I love the girl that plays her. Monica Rambeau, she was a supporting character in WandaVision, so she wasn't built up well enough. In Captain Marvel, the movie made $1 billion, but it wasn't that good. And she wasn't, like, people still weren't that familiar with her. So with Sam, he's been coming out in the movies since Winter Soldier. And, people like Sam. People like Anthony Mackie. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really liked that show. I thought...
Me too.
I think it's a show that gets better with time. Just the only complaint was, like, I didn't like how it ended. I just thought maybe it was a little rushed. And granted, it was the victim of COVID reshooting. Like, they literally shooting overseas while COVID was happening, like when it literally happened. So I thought the ending could have been maybe not as rushed, but that's just me. But I think this movie, if anything, will be a good movie, because Anthony Mackie's very charismatic and charming and likable, and then you have Harrison Ford in it. So I don't know. I think this movie can make its money back just solely based off of the Captain America name alone. But yeah, it's just, you're right. This movie does need to be a hit, both financially and critically. But moving on, the Thunderbolts presentation. which, Bucky's in. Sebastian Stan, another great addition, the great actor. David Harbour, who's it, Red Dynamo or something like that? Red Guardian. From Black Widow, Florence Pugh, who I adore. Well, I think she's great in everything as Yelena. And then just other kind of B movie characters like Ghost, from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Taskmaster, which, again, I didn't poo-poo over that the way most people did, but
I just didn't like that they took one of Marvel's infamous villains and turned it into a half-cooked zombie with no thinking skill, no charisma, no nothing. That pissed me off.
No, I get you, but it's just like I didn't really have an attachment to the character, so with me, I was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, I can see how people are getting mad at this.
I didn't mind it being a woman. In fact, I think me and you might have done a show before then.
Probably.
And
yeah.
I probably, because I know I've said it to a couple of people. I thought the Taskmaster, I thought she was a woman all along, but I thought it was going to be the mom. I thought the mom was going to be Taskmaster.
Right.
Which would have been, I would have taken that. I don't mind the gender bending as long as the gender bending makes sense. We're not gender bending just to gender bend,
Right.
But to me, that would have been perfect. Had it would have been the mom, her sexy ass. Oh my God, that lady is
Rachel Weisz. I think she's coming out in it as well. Is she coming out in it as well? In Thunderbolts? I'm not sure.
Thunderbolts? I don't know, but
hold on, let me look this cast up real quick.
That's fine by me. Her and Florence Pugh together, my God, make me go pew pew.
Hey, easy. Wait, wow. Let's see.
Out of bounds.
Thunderbolts. Jesus Christ. You're too much. Let's see who we have in this movie. Sebastian Stan, already said that. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, we already said that. White Russell back as John Walker. Wasn't crazy about. Here's the thing: when he came out in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I liked it better when he was being crazy. Yeah. John Walker, Captain America, and then he ended it with being happy-go-lucky John Walker. I'm like, I don't know, I would have liked it more if it was like a descent into madness.
Yeah.
Same. Granted, I don't have too much of an attachment to that character, but I would have liked more out of that. So maybe we'll get to see more of it in this movie. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So she gets to be so she's pretty cool. So again, she looks like she's having fun. We already talked about Taskmaster, Olga Korolenko, Harrison Ford's. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Her and Lawrence Fishburne are supposed to be in this movie.
Her and who?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in. Yeah, he was.
He's the dad.
Okay.
Ghost. He's Ghost's dad in Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah, it says Lawrence Fishburne and Rachel Weisz are expected to reprise their roles in this movie. He was Bill Foster. Okay, I like Lawrence Fishburne. It'd be nice to see him in this.
Larry Fishburne. Don't call me Larry. Oh, yes, sir.
Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
That one guy. Shit was funny.
Harrison Ford is going to be in this as Ross, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
Lewis Pullman.
Will he be the Hulk? The Red Hulk?
Well, he's going to be the Red Hulk in Captain America 4.
So we flipping shit over.
Exactly. Lewis Pullman as Bob, who is the Sentry in Marvel Comics, who don't know much about the character, but I just know he's like basically the Superman of Marvel, except with mental illness. Like he's basically a guy that has mental illness, and he has this void. He has the void living inside of him that makes him become the Sentry. So. Lewis Pullman, who's the son of Bill Pullman, legit looks like his dad. So, which I mean, yeah, obviously it's a son, but like he literally looks like his dad. Like if you didn't know who he was, like yeah, he's really somebody. I can already. But originally it was gonna be Steven Yeun, but he had to drop out due to scheduling. So now you have Bob, essentially. So, I'm intrigued by this movie because I was thinking, like, why are they making a Thunderbolts movie? Because I know in the comics the Thunderbolts is supposed to be Punisher, Elektra, Deadpool, Red Hulk, and then there's somebody else I'm blanking on. So for obvious reasons, they couldn't make that movie. So they're doing this, which is kind of like another version of Suicide Squad. But
yeah, without the bombs in the neck.
But I mean, the actors in this movie, they're gonna do a good job. It's just how are you gonna pull it off? So I'm intrigued with this. I know.
And who are the bad guys? That's the even better question too.
That was kind of what I was gonna lead into. So, judging by how Captain America, actually, let me kind of rewind it back. Judging by how Wakanda Forever ended, which that ended up being kind of a political movie in itself, and then Captain America 4 being a political thriller, and then you have this movie being a political thriller. I think what all this leads into is Ross, his hatred for, superheroes and meta beings, is that his hatred for superheroes is going to rub off on the public, and then they're going to start to hate superheroes too. And then that's what leads into mutants. And that's, people hating mutants. You following me here?
Mm-hmm.
So, and now you have the introduction of adamantium, which I get the feeling, maybe I'm wrong, is that we're going to get a appearance by a sergeant in one of these movies that tries to get adamantium. A certain William Stryker.
Uh-oh. Stryker again?
who wants to start his Weapon X program.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I think this is what a lot of these more grounded MCU movies like, Cat 4 and Thunderbolts, and also to a lesser extent, Daredevil, Born Again. This is leading to the public having disdain over superheroes. You know what I mean? So,
I hate them.
And then you have the mutants come in. They're like, oh, well, there's more of them. So
shit. Oh my God. He's gonna lose his mind. J. Jonah Jameson's gonna have a heart attack.
there's a menace.
Oh my God. You know what? The anti-superhero brigade. And you know what? That's good. That's good. Thunderbolt. That Thunderbolt. Fucking J. Jonah Jameson. William Stryker and the Kingpin. Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah, because Kingpin's going to be the mayor of New York, and he's going to start a anti-vigilante law, which is going to lead into Spider-Man 4. Which I think that could be the plot of Spider-Man 4 is, Spider-Man teaming up with Daredevil and other vigilantes, like, I don't know, maybe Luke Cage, maybe Jessica Jones, to take down the mayor of New York. Or maybe you might see a Punisher cameo, since that's how you brought in the
white boots.
I don't know. I like to see John Bernthal pull off the white boots.
I know, right?
I don't think he will, but that'd be pretty dope if he did. But so Thunderbolts, that's coming out May 2nd.
I'm looking forward to that.
And lastly, they ended it with Fantastic Four. They brought out the rest of the cast. Pedro Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Eben Moss-Backrack, and the director and writer Matt Shakman. Which they showed some pre-shot footage, which looks like 60s cinematography, because the movie's supposed to be set in the 60s in an alternate Earth, and we're not getting an origin story. It's going to be a team that's already established, which is good. Pedro kind of looking different, kind of slicked his hair back and has a different Pedro voice, because that's kind of my thing with Pedro in this role, is like, who is he going to be? Is he going to be Mandalorian Pedro? Is he going to be Joel from Last of Us Pedro? Is he going to be sexy Pedro? Like, what is he going to be? But his voice sounds different, so I'll give him that. All that footage I saw looks 1,000 times better than the Fantastic Four movies from the past. Like, this actually looks like a Fantastic Four movie, and it looks like somebody paid attention to the material. And then just that last ending shot with Galactus looking into a building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's Galactus, not that fucking.
Wasn't that something that put a brick in your pants? Just him popping up out of nowhere like that.
That was fucking dope. Like, not that fucking cloud not that fucking cloud from 17 years ago. That was Galactus, the Eater of Worlds. Which, from what I heard, he's gonna be. He's gonna be like America Chavez, where like he doesn't have different variants. Like, he is Galactus in every Earth. So good. Keep Galactus from here on out. That looked fucking cool. That already started filming as of Monday. That comes out next year in July. I'm forgetting when. I think it's like the beginning of July, because I know that comes out the same month as Superman. So Marvel and DC are going neck and neck. But yeah, that looks fucking cool. I can't wait for that. It's one of those things of like, there's been two different interpretations, however you want to look at them. But yeah, this is Marvel vs. Family under the MCU Disney umbrella. So they can't fuck this up. They really can't fuck this up. Marvel. Yeah, Marvel's definitely in the mode of you can't fuck any of this up, especially these legacy characters. This is the first family of Marvel. So, but what'd you think about all that?
I thought the footage looked good. I had somebody paying attention to material, and it looks like a fantastic family-oriented movie, which I feel like the 2005 version kind of got right a little bit, to a lesser degree, obviously. But the that Miles Teller joint, oh god, no! It just dark and gloomy and just so not good. But yeah, they got it right from what I've seen. Pedro doing his thing, and Galactus, man, holy shit! Like I said, that had I would have been in that building when he popped up like that, man, I would have put a brick in my pants, man. But shat my pants. You looking outside the window, that big fucking face fucking staring at you with those eyes. No, son, no. No way. So no. Visually, what they showed so far, it looks good. So far, so good. I can't wait to see a finished product. They got the talent to do it. Matt Shatman, he's got a good track record, so I'm trusting this guy to get it right. So we're gonna see next year. But what I saw, I was impressed. I was definitely impressed. Let's bring this home, Matt.
Yes, sir. All right, now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the night. The show ended with an announcement that the Russo brothers are coming back to Marvel to direct the 5th Avengers movie and Secret Wars, which that was already kind of like a rumor the week before, is that they were in talks to come back.
Yeah.
The Russo brothers has stated that, if we're going to come back to Marvel, we'll do Secret Wars. Like, that's our thing. So cool that the Russo brothers are back. Cool.
Absolutely.
They made all 4 of their Marvel movies are in my top 10 of MCU movies. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like, those are the best Marvel movies in my opinion. MCU movies. And then they announced that Avengers 5, which used to be called Kang Dynasty, is no more for obvious reasons, is now going to be called Doomsday.
Yep.
Which, I always thought it was weird that you were doing a Kang Dynasty and a Secret Wars, because Secret Wars is mainly Doom heavy, so how are you going to bring Doom in while you have Kang? So now that's obviously not the case anymore, so it's going to be called Doomsday, and they got Secret Wars.
Or unless you're going to find out that King was working with Doom the whole entire time.
Yeah, like that.
That could have been a possibility, and maybe Doom kills Kang or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, it's now Doom's world, bitches.
Yeah, he takes it from there, and that could have been a big possibility. So
yeah, because like I remember for Wakanda Forever, I was thinking like, when I was watching the movie, I kept hearing like little side references about other nations and other countries. I'm thinking like, is Doom gonna come out in a post-credit scene? But it's just like the movie
So I
was
was
so
thinking too.
The movie was so emotionally heavy. Obviously because of Chadwick. I was thinking like, would that be appropriate though? Um, I think if Chadwick were alive, maybe that would have been the case. But I don't think they wanted, to set this up for another movie. But yeah, Doom is coming to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna play Doom? That's the question.
Well, I don't know, Sean. You tell me.
Young RJ, I will tell you. So the Russo brothers ended the night with, we can only have one actor who's the best actor in the world play Doom. And you had all these Doom druids on stage. And of course people got their cameras out like, who's going to play Doom? You saw the parting of the Red Sea, essentially, and you see one guy come up, take off his hood, take off his mask, and who is it? Robert.
Not Jared Leto.
Not Jared Leto, which somebody has said in the crowd. Is it Jared Leto? Which I'm like, why the fuck would it be Jared Leto? Go away. But no, it was Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Formerly Tony Stark, formerly Iron Man, which nobody saw coming. I remember a rumor the week before, like, nah, that's not gonna fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened. Robert Downey Jr. is now Doctor Doom, which the only thing he said was, new mask, same task.
Yes.
And, what can I say? I love to play complicated characters. So Downey is back in the MCU, not as Iron Man. But, he's going to be Doctor Doom for 2 movies. I'm assuming he's going to come out in Fantastic Four because it's Doctor Doom and Reed.
Yeah, right. Doom, and you can't have Fantastic Four without Doctor Doom.
No.
No fucking way.
Which I'm assuming there'll be like a post-credit, deal, but
yeah, of course.
But yeah, Downey as Doom. Very conscious.
Talk about mixed feelings.
The definition of mixed feelings. I don't know, man. Like I say this because like the Russo brothers are back, and also
I'm sorry, Drew. I'm sorry, man, but somebody interviewed somebody from the WWE vice president, a VP, whatever, on a potential co-promotion show with AEW. No interest.
Well, duh.
No interest. And oh yeah, by the way, for us wrestling fans that are listening to this, breaking news: Triple H has just announced that Vancouver is getting Survivor Series this year, and Survivor Series for the first time in quite a long time is going to be after Thanksgiving this year, as Survivor Series will be taking place on November the 30th.
I mean that's good. You want to give your stars time to spend time with their families on Thanksgiving. But yeah, I was actually gonna say that because I saw that article. But anywho,
yeah, back to what we was talking about before.
And besides the Russos, they brought back one of the writers from a lot of those films of the Russos, like Winter Soldier and Civil War, Stephen McFeely, who,
and that's good because they have a proven track record of good work. You bring those kind of people back to help you flesh out characters and do what they need to do. So I think that's good. And handling a big cast, sometimes you need 2 directors, and the Russo brothers can get the job done, and they direct some really good action scenes and shit like that. Ever since, like I said, Winter Soldier, oh my god, like some of the shit they did in that, really good shit, man. So I like the fact that they brought those guys back. I wanted them to possibly direct the Spider-Man movie, because the Spider-Man 4 hasn't found a director yet. I don't want it to get in the hands of anybody wacky. I would rather them bring back my man's, what's his name, John Watts, but he doesn't want to do it for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm just glad that they got these guys. I'm glad they got them back and they got them on lock, because the Russo brothers know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
I like Julius.
God, come on, give Julius a break, dude. Come on.
No, he's the shittiest director of all time. Look at it. Nothing but stinkers by his name, man.
Anyways, we're not talking about Julius. We're talking about the Russo brothers, but they're back.
This bald mother sucker. Look at him.
God, stop, leave that man alone. He's got enough problems as it is. Anyways, the Russo brothers. We're talking about them for now. Yeah, just again, like you said, the definition of mixed feelings on this one, because it's like you got Downey back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how are they going to pull this off? Like, obviously they have a plan in place to pull it off, and I'm pretty sure they had a good enough reason to bring Downey out of retirement. Like, they had something that was appealing to him enough for him to say, okay, I'll come out of retirement to play this character.
Right.
And obviously the Russo brothers. So, I don't know, just what do you do? Because, like, there's no way he can be Doom and people not recognize his face. Because I can't picture Downey being in the mask for the whole movie.
Mm-mm.
Like, there's got to be scenes... Like, especially with Peter, especially with Spider-Man and other characters that remember Tony. They're going to see his face and go, Tony? Like, it's not just going to be a thing where they're fighting him. It's like, okay, Victor Von Doom, whose face I'd never seen before. Like that, I don't know, like, unless there's a plan in place to make it make sense. Like, 'cause I know I heard a theory that he's not the real Doctor Doom. Like, he's just a stand-in, and the real Doctor Doom is using Tony Stark's likeness to manipulate the public. You know what I mean? Like, that could be a thing. But that's
you know what? That would be dope, and that would be dastardly. Something up Doctor Doom's alley, you know. So I mean, I could take that if that's where they're going. I can take that. Myself personally, here's where I got mixed feelings. I got mixed feelings because of what you just said, number one. But number two, and most importantly, there's other actors you could have given a shot to play this part. You know what I'm saying? That of European descent. Do you mean to tell me there's nobody out there of European descent that could have played Doctor Doom? You know what I'm saying? That could have possibly knocked this role out of the park. You mean to tell me there's nobody that we had to once again punch open the emergency lever and pull it down for Robert Downey Jr.? Like, I don't think there was a need for that. But Robert Downey Jr. is very talented. And like he said, he lives to do roles that are different. So I'm not going to judge it until I see it, but I do got mixed feelings about it. I really, really do. They have to drastically change up his look. I even suggested to somebody in a group chat I'm in, we talk about comic books and shit, that perhaps maybe he does wear the mask the whole entire time. But it's Robert Downey Jr. He's not only is he charismatically... Not only is he charismatic, verbally, but physically he's charismatic too. So when you have that, he has to have scenes without the mask. So they have to either drastically change up his look or do something. I just don't. I don't see how it's gonna work without the Tony Stark jokes. Because you know they're gonna come in, especially if you have Deadpool involved. Oh. I thought he died. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see it coming a mile away. So they're going to have to do something drastic here to change up his look.
Right. One thing I will say, what I find intriguing about it, is you get to see Downey play a different character. And,
of course,
obviously, as Iron Man, he was great. He was irreplaceable. But I think for Robert Downey, the actor, he was kind of pigeonholed into that role for the longest time, and he didn't really get to do anything else. Yeah. I mean, before that it was, Tropic Thunder, playing a dude disguised as another dude, and, doing a movie called The Judge, which, lately people have been finding out and liking it, which I think is kind of cool. And then recently Oppenheimer, where he won an Oscar and he got to play a completely different character to the point where I forgot that was Downey. Like, that's how good he was in that role, where you got to remember, oh yeah, this is Downey, he played Charlie Chaplin. And he got nominated for an Oscar for that one. This time he won an Oscar. So I kind of look at it as like maybe he can kind of bring some of that same Oppenheimer energy to this character, where he's not, charming Tony Stark. He doesn't have his Tony Stark isms where he's sarcastic and, has movie references. Like, he gets to play a different character where he's completely outside of himself. So that intrigues me. But it's just... kind of like how you just brought up, I would have liked a different actor. I would have liked Michael Fassbender. I would have liked Josh Hartnett, in that role. I would have liked your boy Mads Mikkelsen, even though he played Dr. whatever the fuck in Doctor Strange is just like, who gives a fuck about the character? But it's like,
Yeah.
he looks like Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those things of like, this is the definition of not just mixed feelings, but I'm gonna be very cautiously optimistic about this, because I look at it as like, there's no way you're gonna bring Downey out of retirement unless there's a reason. So we'll see, man. I know they're gonna start filming Avengers Doomsday sometime next year, because they're gonna do what they did with Infinity War and Endgame, and that's film them back to back. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that works out. And yeah, man, it's really kind of what we have at the moment. Unless there's any
nothing more, nothing less.
Unless there's anything else we're missing. I know they just finished Superman filming that, so that's coming on July.
Interesting.
The Batman Cape Crusader show came out today. Every episode, all 10 episodes.
Every episode, yeah.
Which
I haven't seen it yet, but I will. Next time we do this, we will review that. Put that on the docket. We'll review that.
Yes, sir.
I'm definitely interested in that. Different twist and take on a lot of characters, especially Harley Quinn and the Penguin. Obviously, that was the big one. Oswaldo, who was ugly as shit.
What?
Big body, small legs. Oh no, that shit's funny. Nah, I can't wait to watch that. Bruce Timm, returned to executively produce this, so he's involved. Matt Reeves is involved in the process. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm gonna watch that probably on Saturday. No, wait a minute, hold on. Saturday SummerSlam. Probably gonna be out like a light. I probably have to. I can't do it. I have the CCW pay-per-view on Sunday morning, so yikes. I'm gonna probably have to watch each episode. I have to watch each episode day by day next week.
Right.
All right. Yeah. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to watch it. I was gonna say, can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Same, man. I like what I saw. I like what I saw in the trailer. The Harley Quinn, not really too jazzed about that, but yeah, everything else looks great though. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I like that. Batman's my top DC guy besides Green Arrow, so
yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And one thing I do like about it is like kind of like X-Men '97, where it's like set in a different time, continuation of another show. They're doing something different with this, where it's kind of paying homage to the '90s show, but it's set in the 50s or the 40s. So I think that's intriguing, and also it's with streaming, you can maybe get away with being a little bit more edgier. So unlike the '90s animated show where it was geared more towards kids, even though a lot of those shows were like, yeah, they're kind of getting away with a little bit, but no, like this looks a little bit more edgier and violent and somewhat grotesque, and I'm like, this is the Batman I want to see. Like this is right up my alley. Kind of like with you,
Morgan showed me a clip. Now hopefully I'm not spoiling anything when I say this, but apparently Batman gets into it with Clayface, and he fucking knocked his shit in to the point where he just turned into a pile of clay.
Yeah,
like the way it happened, it was like yucky. It was like really nasty. The way they did it, it was. Nah. This show is. I'm not gonna say it's. Based off that alone, I don't think the show's gonna be for kids. It's more for I think it's for adults. But I mean, the kids watch a lot of shit anyways. They ain't supposed to watch, so fuck it.
No, like I don't know. People assume kids are innocent. Like we definitely weren't innocent. We were watching shit we weren't supposed to watch. But yeah, just I
was watching porn ever since I was like fucking 13. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's just like it's
Gina Lynn. Oh, good God!
It's like with comic book properties in general. Like you see The Boys, you see shows like The Boys. You see Gen V. You see Invincible. Being edgy. Very edgy. So I think Marvel's obviously smart enough to go, okay, how can we compete with that? And they are. Deadpool, Wolverine is about to make $1 billion, and pretty soon they're gonna do other R-rated properties like Blade, whenever that does come out, or Midnight Suns or Punisher, Daredevil, Ghost Rider. I mean, granted, not everything needs to be rated R, but I also think you need to be a little bit more edgy and take chances. Like,
yeah, that's my one fear. That's the one thing I don't want them to do. I don't want them to get R-rated happy and try to turn everything rated R just because, oh, this one was successful. Nah, let that shit play out. Let that shit play out.
Yeah, just like you can get away with maybe being a hard PG-13.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I'm telling you, the first time I see Spider-Man shoot a web, and it's a web bullet and it flashed through somebody's skull in slow motion, I'm quitting MCU.
Quit. Just,
I swear to Moses, bro, because not everything needs to be rated R, bro.
Just see RJ in the theater going, "Fuck this."
Yeah, exactly. No, hell no. I'm not watching that. I'm not because that's not Spider-Man. That's the Punisher. You did that with the Punisher. You did that with Ghost Rider. He swings his chain around and wraps it around some guy's neck and yank his fucking head off. Like that's fine. I can take that because I know what I'm watching, know what I'm getting into. But don't try to turn the Spider-Man into Fantastic Four and other characters like that on that level. Start turning them to rated R fucking characters. That'd be stupid. That's the one thing I don't want them to do is get rated R happy.
Especially with when they bring in X-Men, like you can get away with maybe being borderline rated R with them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because like it's such a very deep story rooted in racism and classism. And X-Men has quite a few rated R-ish characters that you can play around with. So, but yeah, just again, like you said, don't get rated R. Don't just assume the solution is rated R. Like not every character has to be rated R. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man is very much a PG-13 character that's that the kids like. It's for the kiddos. But other characters definitely need that rated R darkness to them.
Yeah, right. Like you said, the Midnight Suns, the Punisher, even Echo. Like that's fine. Because Echo's not a big character that's known like that, so you can get away with that.
Don't
Daredevil, Moon Knight. You know what I'm saying? That there's your characters you can get away with that shit with. So just play it safe, play it smart. Don't do unnecessary shit and ruin characters. So that's why I hope Feige doesn't get rated R happy because you're seeing the numbers with Deadpool go up. Or what if we make Spider-Man? Man, I will smack the shit out of you, Kevin. Don't play with me. I'll
smack that cap off your head.
Exactly. I'll smack the cap off your head. I'll throw this can at your fucking eyeball. Play around with me. Don't you ruin my Spider-Man.
Oh, that'd be funny. But yeah,
RJ feels like a little kid again, sitting in the movie theater watching some MCU Spider-Man movies with a big ass smile on my face. I'm smiling harder than Bob the Enzyme Man from them fucking male enhancement commercials from back in the day. That's how hard I'm smiling in the movie theater from ear to ear. Most of the movie,
and we know why Bob was smiling.
Yeah, we know why Bob was smiling.
And we know why RJ was. We know why RJ was smiling too.
Yep, that's right. Play the whistle song. Yes. But
as soon as you get out of your seat, you just hit someone with your dick. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry about that. The divorce rate just rose up. One divorce. God damn it.
It's like RJ put a cup over that thing.
I tried to beat it. It's just not.
Excuse me, ma'am. What's the biggest soda cup you have here? That's not gonna be big enough.
Do you want to check and see why I need a cup? No. Like, you sure? Okay. Oh. Yeah.
It's like. Do you get extra refill? Do you get extra refills with that thing?
Can I interest in taking you into the bathroom and showing you how real webs are made.
Oh God.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wah, wah, wah. All right, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it like that, talking about dicks and webs. Oh man, but yeah, people, that is the show. We covered everything we need to cover, and like RJ mentioned, we're gonna watch not Spider-Man, Batman: The Caped Crusader, and we're gonna talk about it. So we should be back. We should be back pretty soon. But thank you to everybody who listens. And what else can I say is, if you haven't seen Deadpool Wolverine, please see it. And if you have seen it, see it again, because I want to see it again. But anyways, peeps, we're out. Have a good day, and peace out.
Peace.